back. This is my 5th video, and some friends and family and I went down to the Lower Keys for the group opener of grouper and hogfish season, May 1st to the 3rd. Had a few incredibly fun days and had some footage, so I thought I'd put a video together. Unfortunately, I didn't capture all of most of the shots, but I still think it was pretty cool stuff. So here I'm splashing in with Ethan, and he's on a hogfish. Unfortunately, he makes a few mistakes here, and he actually doesn't wait for the fish to turn. Kind of takes a rushed little shot. Unfortunately, loses that. I think in the future, if he's a little more patient, he'll have a little more success. But I'm on a porgy here. Unfortunately, I don't capture it in the frame. My GoPro's a little low, but yeah, I get on the board here with my first porgy. I love those. I love these porgies. I think they're delicious, and so I never pass them up. Top side here, my brother comes in with the first grouper of the trip. He's got a nice little red, and I think this one went maybe 24, 25 inches. So that was a cool thing about when you go early in the season like this, you get a lot of the primo fish. So there wasn't a lot of measuring need to be happening. They were all, or had to question your shot. They're all good size that were clearly legal. So that's always fun. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, there he is there. So moving on, it's kind of be the theme of the trip, but I'm chasing blacks this whole trip. It's so hard to get a good shot on one, and actually this is a time looking back on it, I really regret not pulling the trigger here. So right there, he gives me a shot. I don't take it. There's really no excuse. I just blew it. There's that Goliath coming around. Maybe that distracted me a little bit, but I had a shot, and I just regretted not taking it. So yeah, not cool. But yeah, there's some more footage here. You're gonna see just a good amount of black grouper this day. They're pretty spooky, I guess. And when you're diving, you got your bubbles blowing everywhere. They tend to stay away, but they were all good size. That one right there was really nice, probably 20-pounder. That I just could not. Seems like this day when I zigged, they zagged. I would kind of lead them to see if I could kind of dip below some structure, or maybe catch them sleeping a little bit. But unfortunately, they usually saw me before I saw them. I think this might be the second shot I regret. Right there, boom, I could have whacked them, and so yeah, those were my two big regrets on this dive. Was not going for those two shots when I clearly had an opening. So moving on, swimming along again, and then as they do, they camouflage so well, but these black groupers just come out of nowhere. and so the chase is on. I'm hoping at this point, once they start tail wagging, kicking a bit, I'm hoping they rock up somewhere so I can get my flashlight out, kind of look under and through some rocks to see if they're just chilling. But usually when they're on the move like this, they stay on the move. I keep coming over here to try to get down a little lower so that I can maybe come out the other side and kind of meet him where he's heading, and I could just never get ahead of them once they start kicking like that. So live and learn. A lot of cool grunts here, a lot of big bait fish, so obviously the grouper, I love that. I'm swimming along, and then I see another porgy coming to the frame there. He was just staying super still, and so I was able to shoot him right in the head. And as I mentioned before, I'm not going to pass these puppies up. I think they're great dinner fare, and I actually will, you'll see here in a minute, so I think I sprain them here, bleed them, and then I actually end up filleting them, laying them out on the counter. And you can actually see in this photo coming up that I have, you see the two fillets of this fish right there in the middle, and beside it on the left is a Cero, and you got some yellow jack, and then on the grouper cheeks at the top, actually, she had the black grouper cheeks and then the red grouper cheeks, which are excellent. So here's something really cool. I wanted to slow down because tell me if you could see there's a red grouper in the middle of this frame, and I actually end up pointing at it. This is how camouflaged those fish are. So it's right there. I'm not sure you could make it out. I wanted Ethan to shoot it, and so I kind of wave him over. If you couldn't see it there, I don't blame you. You'll see when Ethan comes over, I pointed out to him, and he's maybe 7 or 8 feet from it. Right here, he still doesn't see it. Luckily, he gets a little bit closer. Yeah, he still doesn't see it. Sitting right there in the middle of the frame. Hopefully, you can catch it by now. He's turned sideways, so there he is. But a couple errors happened here. So one, he's only got one band. He almost waits to get too close. He does end up hitting it, but he's got a double prong flapper. Just doesn't go through. Thankfully, this fish, I'm able to kind of chase it down. It's going to give me another shot here, and so I'm able to whack it. And this was actually a really nice red grouper, maybe even my personal best, 27, 28 inches, I think it went. And this is another thing I point to Ethan, for, when you have a dive buddy, there's a really nice mutt. It didn't look like it in the frame because he's so far away, but that was a really big mutt, and had come to kind of check us out. Unfortunately, Ethan's gun was already shot off, so he needed time to reload. So we didn't actually get a shot on that mutt, but that would have been a really nice fish as well. So yeah, so I get this red grouper, brain and bleed them, and then I'm gonna end up stuffing him in my bag. I'm super happy about this guy. I get on the board as far as grouper goes, even though it should have been Ethan's fish. I'm glad at least one of us was able to secure it and get it and bring it home. So yeah, that was good. Moving on. Here there's actually a yellow jack that's just vertical in the water column there, pretty odd. It wasn't huge, actually kind of small, but I do like these yellow jacks as well, make good sashimi, so I decided to take them there. I almost cut my dive short here. I found this really nice anchor, had some rope on it and stuff too. Then I figured, you know what, I'm having too much fun. I can maybe come back and get it or figure out. I just didn't want to cut my dive short at this point, and so just kept going. Here's Ethan and I. We are following fish here. This is a grouper again. We don't get a shot on it. So this is a hogfish. Ethan, he almost touches it with his spear. Again, I'm not sure what happened, but after he tried to put a shot on it, and then it kind of scared him. Sometimes the hogfish do this. They'll go rock up. So I kind of follow him. He goes into this rock right here, and I want to get a good shot. I know these hogfish, they're very docile. They're not afraid of hunters or spearos. So I knew he wasn't going to go very far. So I came around this side. I didn't really like the shot I had on this side of the rock, so I ended up repositioning to go over there on the other side, so that I can make sure I get a nice little headshot in there, so that I could definitely secure this fish. But yeah, these hogfish are one of the easiest fish to shoot. Between them and red grouper, they're pretty easy. Hogfish are probably the easiest. And I knew he wasn't going anywhere, so I just lined it up, got down a little lower. You can't really see the shot, but ended up whacking him in the head. So that was good. And of course, these are delicious as well. Probably the whitest meat you can find in a fish. They are very almost translucent on the table. So here's our first day's or first morning actually. We ended up going out in the afternoon when some other buddies showed up. But there's the hogfish just shot there. Then here's Scoot's red grouper there. Nice little fish. And then there's a couple of the porgies shot. And then here's that really nice red grouper. I was pretty stoked on. So yeah, all in all, a really good first morning. We got some dives in before some of our buddies showed up.
What are we bringing in?
So we spent the afternoon free diving in about 20 feet, and I really wish I had some underwater footage of it because it was super cool. We had only shot a mango and a Cero for most of the afternoon until I finally saw a black grouper and followed it for about 100 yards until it finally rocked up in a hole with a moray eel in it. So as I was doing my breathe up, I noticed a nice red grouper all of a sudden showed up and was almost standing guard protecting that same hole until it retreated down. And so basically I did my breathe up, I went down, and I saw the red grouper staring right back at me. And so I was able to shoot him in the head and secure him. And of course it created a huge cloud of smoke. And so we had to wait a little bit for all that to dissipate before we could kind of look for the black. Somehow the black did not leave. We were able to go down. There's maybe a frisbee-sized hole where we saw the black grouper was up against the right side of it. So I was able to put a shot on it. It wrapped around the reef, shot away, and luckily my buddy Patrick had his gun by and was able to go and secure it. But yeah, this is our first day's catch. Had a great day. These are the grouper we shot. I think we had 3 reds and a black, I think, that first day. But all in all, wow, it was just fantastic. All right, so this is day 2. My brother and Patrick get in a little bit before us, and you can see we actually come upon them. We catch them. We're drifting maybe at 1 knot, so not too fast. But they had just looks like they had just shot a red grouper, so you can kind of see them securing it, getting it kind of off the spear and into the bag, and obviously it creates a lot of commotion and some action. So basically just kind of swim on by them, and then you'll see here there's a nice little yellowjack comes by, and so I'm able to when you create that kind of commotion, a lot of fish get curious, so I'm able to shoot this yellowjack, and I shoot him pretty good. It goes all the way through. I have him, flopper comes out, he kind of goes a little nuts, swims around, all secure, and then not exactly sure how it happened, but I'm bringing him in, and then somehow the flopper goes straight, and he comes off. This is when it helps to have a dive buddy with their gun ready, so that he could actually end up shooting it, and that we could actually get this sucker in the bag. Here, these you definitely want to bleed, so that I like to have these as sashimi, so you definitely want to make sure you bleed these. Here we are, Jason. Well, that's a black margay. I don't want that. But there's a grouper there. Sneaks out there. He actually goes towards my dive buddies, but they don't see him at all, even though I try to point him out. But oh well, maybe next time. So here, Ethan, there's a porgy again. So I end up shooting him and actually slow down the clip because as I'm slowing, look in the background, a nice black grouper comes and Ethan actually sees him, and unfortunately doesn't pull the trigger, looks back to me to give him the okay, and by that time he was gone, forget about it. So they did end up chasing him for a little while, but at that point you're not going to catch him. But he definitely had a shot there where it was just kind of had come out from wherever rock or wherever it was at, was kind of looking right at him, and you don't have time to think. You got to just pull the trigger there. So yeah, that was a pretty good fun dive. The visibility is getting better and better each day. Like I said, we're diving between 80 to 90 feet here, and our dive times are about 40-45 minutes. But I thought this was cool. Like I said, the visibility had gotten better. We'd come a little bit shallower at this point. I think we're in 50-55, but you can kind of make out the bottom. So I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, different spots had different viz, but it was okay right here. It's a great dive boat too. Got the ladder right there. You can just hand them your stuff, walk right up. So that really helped. We're yelling at Ethan for not making a shot here, which he certainly should have on that black grouper. But I've made mistakes too, so I can't complain. We actually combined both of our fish from the first 2 days, and then before we filleted it. So there it is, sitting out on the table. There's my buddy Patrick filleting up some fish, and actually that night, I tell you what, if you've never had it before, the grouper racks, especially black grouper racks, are so delicious. So I baked a couple of them, which are right there. Just salt and pepper, you're good to go. So this is day 3 now. Visibility's improved a little bit. So same kind of different day, same story. Chasing another black grouper, trying to be a little more stealth. It's not working. These guys have my number. So I wasn't able to get him there, but I do end up getting one this day. Unfortunately, I don't get on video, but here's our buddy Bleeker here. He's lining up on a white margate, puts a nice shot into him, secures him. So that was it's good to get him on the board. And yeah, decent fish. So we're going along. I think he lines up like a black margate. It was a pretty far shot. So I don't think he might have just grazed him, and I wasn't gonna chase after him. Once again, we come on a bunch of like grunts and bait fish, which is always a pretty good sign. And so you know, got to keep your eyes peeled, because like I said, most of the time these groupers see us way before we see them, so you can't sneak up on them, unfortunately. Here's a moray eel there. Wasn't too big. It's kind of small actually, but it kind of came out, and I don't know, I think I maybe had 1 or 2 fish in the bag. Maybe was curious about that, but didn't give us any problems, so that was good. Here I'm back to chasing grouper. I think there's a couple that come in the frame here. They're kind of out in the distance. This isn't not a lot of structure around, or it's kind of in between. It's kind of like a sand jump. But there was a couple grouper there. My dive buddy had run out of air, or was low on air, so he'd gone up, and so now I had 2 guns, but that still didn't help me. The grouper was still elusive. I'm gonna have to figure out different kind of tactics. Maybe I'll have to hold my breath more as I'm getting close to him, so it doesn't scare him with all the bubbles. Who knows? But trial and error, I guess. So that was it for my dive there. Then I end up giving my my GoPro to my brother, Scoot. He actually ends up having a pretty entertaining dive here. So stay tuned. He splashes in with Ethan here. It's kind of a cool little underwater photo. He's waiting for Ethan to come down. They were actually pretty shallow. I think they were in like 55 to 65 feet. So right away, like I said, this is an action-packed dive. So they splash in. You got this big Cero come right in. He puts a good shot, or pretty far shot on him, and was able to secure him. He was a pretty strong fish, so he was able to swim pretty good. These you want to bleed as well, because I like to have these, like I mentioned, as sashimi. You got to bleed them. Also, it helps a lot at the cleaning table. The cleaning table, if you don't bleed them and actually gut them, man, it's a mess. So really helps doing that. You'll also see the big teeth on these. They got pretty nice teeth, so you got to be careful about that. Not only do you have to be careful about that, but you'll see in a sec. They didn't even know. Actually, first thing you'll see is, so this is the fish right there. That's the Cero mackerel they shot, but they didn't even know they were putting that fish in the bag, and right next to them was that moray right there that they just pointed to, which could have been problematic. Here you can see Scooch chasing a mutton here, and pretty far shot. He actually puts a good shot on this one. Gives him a shot right there, and he actually spines it so that you see it flickering, but it's not moving. So that tells you hit the spine, and so it kind of immobilizes it. There's the fish right there. One of them, one of the mutton shots right there. This was another, I guess, foreshadowing opportunity here. Once again, big school of grunts and other types of bait fish just kind of moving through the reef here, which you love to see all the life. So then we're going to come upon his big moment. So you can see at the top of this piece of coral there, you see that black grouper come down and around, and what I could never get to do was the grouper to come the same place I was to meet him. Luckily this one gives him a nice shot, and so he's able to shoot him. And unfortunately, actually, this bent my shaft here on my bent my shaft. This grouper bent my shaft, which was pretty annoying, but we were pretty much done for the day anyways, so it was okay. But yeah, goes ahead and brains it, secures a nice grouper. I think on this trip, I think we ended up shooting 4 black grouper, maybe 4 or 5 reds in those 3 days. So really successful trip. Gives you some good shots there of it. It's great fish.
The color's black.
Here's this top side, comes back to the boat. Get them in, and then that pretty much sums it up. Got some last photos here of just kind of our ride back in. This is our last day's catch there. So we're coming in, so a couple black grouper, nice Cero. Really happy with how things turned out. And like I said, the seas were calm in the Keys these days, and visibility was pretty good, and water temps was good. So pretty stoked on this trip. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Just got a few more kind of photos of our catch with just the catch, then me and some of our buddies. Right there, you can kind of see that's our 3rd day's catch. Got them filleted up. You can see the nice fillets that come out of that black grouper. I ended up making a really nice black grouper with some avocado. Made a little mixture, and yeah, appreciate y'all. Cheers. Have a good one.